Hi guys, how are you all today? Boy, I have something psychotic going on with my computer. That is bizarre. I'm going to just wait a minute, stop that. I was trying to get my share screen to work and it went bazonkers. So, how are you all today? I hope everybody's having a good week. So far, no snow this week, which is always a good thing. Always a good thing. I totally got wrapped up in doing some work that I was doing, and just about forgot to start this stream today. So almost forgot you guys. So hi guys, thanks for letting everybody know where you are. It must be the moon. It's the moon? Is it a full moon this week? Ay, it's a yucky day down in South Texas. Too cold. It's too cold here, but I can't complain. We are above 20, and this weekend we were down in the teens, so I can't really complain too much about the weather because it is a beautiful day outside. It's just a little chilly. Margaret, you don't have to flaunt that warm weather that you've got down there. My dad says y'all are about to get a cold spell. It's going to get down to 60. Ooh. Um, Karen, there's a reason I do not live in Buffalo, and that would be the reason. I have I do not regret moving out of Michigan for that. You've got 2 feet of snow the other day. Well, we got, I guess, a combined foot, but by the time the second snow came, the first snow was gone. And the second snow is now all gone. So thankfully. My I got my tree down. I won't say it's all put away. Half of the tree is over here, and the tree itself is still downstairs waiting to be taken down tonight. So we finally got to that. Both my husband and I have been ill. So um luckily not too we're still alive and kicking is what we'll say. It's just 21 degrees there in Cleveland. Let's see, what have we got today here? It is a sunny 43 degrees today, so I can't complain too much. Anything above 20 is a good day. So it's beautiful in El Paso, Texas. I'll tell my dad will never visit you in Buffalo. I'll tell you that. He thinks it's cold when it's 60. So that is their cold degrees. I'm sure he's got his flannel coat on about now. Um, So, all right, guys. Since it's a new year, it's time to start organizing those design files that you all are so want to basically collect. So, let's talk us about. Yes, he did tell us we were stupid when I was up there that one day. I think it was 75 degrees down there, and it was 12 where we were up there. And yes, he was laughing at me for going north during the winter. That is a crazy thing to do. Um, so it is that time of year to start thinking about organizing. And the thing about organizing is it works so much better if you start on the front side before you become a design collector and have a gazillion designs out there. However, most of us do not do that, and myself included. I am the world's worst organizer when it comes to design. So for me to talk about this is actually hysterical. But you have tools available to you. The first one is a free program, and it's called Design Database Transfer. And it is a way that you can download and organize your files on your computer. However, if you have PE design of any version, you have the design database in your computer. So every PE design program has a PE design database in it. And you get to it from layout and editing, go up to the options menu, and I'll show you this in just a minute, and choose design database. That's where you organize your files, and it's built into your program. So you may as well use something you already have instead of investing in something else, or even downloading the free program, because the design database has so much more in it than the design database transfer does. The transfer module is just one portion of what we have in the design database. So just keep that in mind. Having said that, it's a great tool, but it's a free tool, so you don't get all the bells and whistles. So that's one of the things that I'll tell you is that the first thing we're going to sit here and say is, all right, if you are a downloader, you need to know where you got your design from. That's one of the basics of organizing. when you start creating folders for things, make sure you put them in a manner that makes sense to you. So if you are downloading Designs by Juju, make a folder on your computer called Designs by Juju. That would be the first thing I would do. And then put every folder, everything, every design that you download from them into that folder. That will make your life a whole lot easier. That way you know where you got it from. You can go reference that website if you need to know whether you can use it for commercial use or if it's personal use only, or if there's a limited license. Those are all details that you need to keep up with if you're doing it for a business, or just so that you don't get yourself in trouble. It's a really good idea to basically make yourself a note file as well. So open up your Word document, your Word, whether you have Microsoft Office or Notepad or whatever you use. You could even do it in an email and save the email into that folder to where you know what you can do with those particular designs. Put that in that folder. Now, you won't be able to see that in the design database, but it will give you that. You'll have that information available to you. Okay. So, yes, Tana, it will also keep you from buying dupes, because if you've organized them and put them in that manner, then you'll have them in a folder, and you can see what you've got. I mean, so many people buy a lot of designs. I don't. I mean, that's not my thing. I actually will create a gazillion designs and then forget what I named them. I am the queen of forgetting what I named it, but I can usually tell you when I did it. So that is one of the things that I use my design database, is to hunt for the files that I've done, because I can always remember where I did it. So make that folder. So I'm going to show you how to make a folder in both Design Database Transfer and in the Design Database. It's the same everywhere. If you then we'll sit there and organize yourself. Take a day, take 2 days, take 2 months, do a little bit at a time. But when you start downloading now, from here on out, make sure that you do that for yourself. Now, I personally am not a My Documents person, and I realized that if I did it into My Documents, it would save to my OneDrive, and that would be a whole lot faster of a backup. But I don't like a whole huge My Documents folder. I would rather have things laid out on my desktop in a folder called Commercial Embroidery Designs, and then the designer underneath it. That's how I personally prefer to organize. That way, when I go to my D drive, I've got my commercial embroidery designs, and then I can look inside that and see where those came from. And when I put it on my backup drive, it's in the same way. So that is my first thing. So I don't know what you're asking, Abuela. But I mean, that's one of the things that I'll say. So let's see here. Let's get started on this. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen now. And the wrong program's up there, but we'll see how this works. There we go. So let's go over to this is the Design Database and Layout and Editing. So let me show you how I got there. This is Layout and Editing. In P Design 11, 10, 9, whatever you've got, it works the same way. Go up to the Options pull-down menu up at the right-hand corner. Choose Design Database. Okay, so that is where you go first of all. And you can see right here, I have a folder called 2,500 Bonus Designs. These came from Brother. So I basically have named that folder what it is. I mean, if I want to change that name, I can always put in here in front of it, Brother 2,500 Bonus Designs. But those were the bonus designs that came in the Brother Luminaire, the original release package. And once in there, then they are in their categories. So these are all in the different categories. Oh, that one's cute. You know, it's amazing what you find when you go in here and look. I didn't even know I had some of these. So these are from that original 2,500 bonus design collection. Some of these are duplicates of things that I have in BES. but others I don't have anywhere else. So it's kind of nice to come in here and see. You never know, you might find something that you need. But so let's talk about how to create a folder first of all. If you click on the drive that you want to create the folder, right mouse click on it. Actually, we're going to click on the drive and then we're going to go up to File and we're going to say Create New Folder. And here I would put in Commercial Embroidery Designs. Okay, so once you've created that folder, then you can come in and create a subfolder underneath it. File, Create New Folder. So let's say you got something from Designs by Juju. All right, so next one, let's say you purchased an Anita Good design. And let's say you've purchased some from Brother Embroidery. All right, so there you've got your folders. So now when you go to download, these will be in your Windows Explorer just like any other. Oh, I'm trying to do something over here. And so these will be in your Windows Explorer just like any other place. So if I refresh my Windows Explorer window, let's see here. I called that Commercial Embroidery Designs. There's my Commercial Embroidery Designs. There are the folders that I just created. So if I want, all right, whoever this troll is, let's ban him here. Let's block that user. Hold on. So, when you go to download, you can download directly into those folders. Now, Abuela, if my drive crashes, that is what a backup drive is for. These are folders that I would back up. So that is, when I back up my computer, I do a complete backup, not just a program backup. So that's how I personally prefer to do it. But if you will download to those folders, then that will make sense. Now you can get even deeper into this from there. You can go in and you can say, all right, I need a good design and this specific collection. So create a folder for that collection and put it in there. That way you know where you got it. You can go to it and find it. And you're not always searching for designs like I do. Do what I say, not what I do. That's what I'll tell you here. So let's go back and let's look at the design database transfer program, which is very similar. So this was the design database in PE Design 11. And this is my design database transfer, I believe. Hold on. Let me just make sure. We'll go search for it. Design database transfer, just so that I know I'm using, there we go. I clicked on the wrong one. So this is the design database transfer, and you would do it the same way. So if I come in here, let me refresh my window, display refresh so that it gets everything back in the normal place. So if I want to put something on my D drive, so you can see those Brother designs that I renamed in the other program are there now. If I want to create a new folder, click on that D drive, create new folder. And then I'll call actually, I don't want to do that here, but we'll call this one Commercial Embroidery Designs 2. I'll delete this folder in my Windows Explorer side, but the same way. So Commercial Embroidery Designs 2, it pops up there where the other one was. And once again, you can come in and create subfolders. So if you click on that folder, choose Create New Folder, it works the exact same way. So I'm just going to drag something into one of those folders. So if here's a customer help file. So let's say I knew that this design came from Anita Good Design. I can then take that design and move it over to the Commercial Embroidery Designs folder. And looky there, it's there. So this allows you to be able to use and move and know where things are. You can, it's simple to do. So let's come here and take that one and move that into the Commercial Embroidery Designs. And if you were trying to move it into a specific spot, let's say I wanted to move it into Brother Embroidery, you just expand that by clicking on the plus sign. You just expand it and move it in there. So I put that one in Brother Embroidery. Now, if I want to put this back in my customer help files, I'll just take and drag it back into customer help files. And that's really an easy way to do this. You just drag and drop, guys. Now, PE Design allows you to have an option of, let's see here. I don't want design database transfer. I want to go back up, option design database. It allows you to convert designs, okay? So if I have, in my customer help files, let's say I want to convert this design to a different format, or let's say all of these were PES files and I needed them to be BIP files. I can select them all just by highlighting them, or Control A on your keyboard. When you click inside that window, right mouse click on them, and then you can say convert format. Well, something in there must not be of the same format. It doesn't like something in there. So, it must be the caps PES. It does not like, that one must not have any data in it. So right mouse click, now I can convert my format. And you tell it what format you want it to go to. Only the formats that are available in PE Design those are the only ones that you can convert to. This is not in Design Database Transfer. This is only in PE Design 11, okay? Or in PE Design 10.9. It's a full version PE Design item. Now, Design Database Transfer will allow me to, let's say I want them to go to DST. Once I say convert, oops, did I not tell it to convert to the same folder? No, oops. All right, so you want to tell it where you want it to go to. So I've evidently got mine going somewhere. I'm going to have to go find it. I'm going to tell it to go back to my customer help files and say, okay, now convert. There they are. Now they are all converted and they can be used on any commercial embroidery machine. So that allows you to do that conversion process. Now, the Design Database Transfer does not have that available to you, okay? Just keep that in mind. What the Design Database Transfer allows you to do is to send designs to connected embroidery machines. So this one is a wireless machine. If I've got a wireless machine, I can directly send it to that machine. So you can see my Emma, which is my multi-needle, is connected, and I can simply send that to the machine. Now, if you have a machine that is not wireless, and PE Design 11 would do the same thing on that one. If you have one that's not wireless, if you want to put something on a USB drive, you simply insert the drive into your computer and drag and drop that file into that computer, into that spot, okay? So, Marsha, if you have PE Design 11, you do not need Design Database Transfer. If you don't have PE Design 11 or 10, you can go to do a web search for Design Database Transfer, and it will take you to the Brother website to that location, I do believe. Let's go look for it here. Let's do a web search. Design Database Transfer. So here we go. So Design Database Transfer. We want to do support here. And so you've got it, Marsha, so you don't need to download this one. But here is the Design Database Transfer, and let's see if it will tell us. Click here to download the installer of Design Database Transfer. So if you do a internet search, you can click directly on the Brother link, and it will take you to the Design Database Transfer. And in the middle of it, you'll see that little button right there. That's where you would click and download it. So, but you have PE Design 11. That's what I showed you a minute ago. When you're in PE Design 11, go up to your Options pull-down menu and choose Design Database. Okay? That's all you have to do. All right, guys. So that's my simple thing. Now, let's talk about searching for a design, because that's the next part. Yeah, downloaded something back in June. Maybe it's in your downloads folder. Your downloads folder is not the place to put everything. Just so we're clear on that. It's really it's nice to template things where you want them to go. But if you downloaded to your downloads folder, you can go in there and then move them where you want them to go, because your downloads folder is viewable in the design database transfer. Sarah, no, you cannot transfer to the Brother Dream machine via design database transfer because it does not have an internal wireless card. Only the machines that have the internal wireless card can you transfer wirelessly to from design database transfer or P design. Now, if you have BES4, you can transfer wirelessly to your Brother Dream machine through BES4, but not through design database transfer. Yeah, I mean, design database is a really nice feature that they have in our program that most people don't realize is there, Patty. And if you have a little link to it down at the bottom, that never hurts. You can certainly pin it to your bottom. All right, so let's look at searching for designs. That's my next part. So you heard me say that I am not one to remember where I got what the name of a design is. I am terrible about that. Absolutely terrible. So I tend to search for things. So if you click on the drive you want to search, that's the first key, the drive you want to search. You can then right mouse click and choose search. You can search by file name, by format, by stitch count, by color changes, by total number of colors in the design, by the width and the height, and by the date modified. Now, each time you add a filter in, it narrows down the choices. So I'm going to choose date modified. So what have I done on this computer? So let's say we want to look between January of last year to today. All right, so I'm going to search and it's going to hunt for all of the design files that I have played with on this computer in that time frame. These are the designs that it found. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, mine will see some things that you all won't see just simply because I have to test things. But just keep in mind that you will also be able to see your PEN files if you download something from Brother Embroidery. You'll be able to see PEN files here as well. So just letting you know that you'll be able to see those. Once it's searched, your search results will be down at the bottom, and you can find the file you want. You can rename it. You can put it where you want it to go. My girl is telling me she's wanting to go to the restroom here, which is kind of interesting. So let's look at design database transfer. And we should be able to do the same thing here. If I click on the file I wanted to search for and say search, this time let's search by file name, and I'm going to put cookie in it and search. So this time it will look for anything on my computer with the name cookie in it. Now, that does require you to know what you've named something, but that gives you that capability of, if you know a name, you can search for it by name. If you know by color, you can search for by color. Around Christmas time, I'm one of those people that doesn't want to sew anything that has more than 6 colors in it. So I'll search for designs that have between 1 and 6 colors. Or I'll search for a design that doesn't have more than 6,000 stitches in it. So between 1 and 6,000 stitches. That narrows down my selection to where I don't have to just get overwhelmed with however many designs I have. So let's go over here and look again. Let's go back up to the top, and I'm going to click on the drive, and we'll choose search again. And this time I'm going to take off the file name, and I'm going to say I want to search for designs between 1 and 6,000 stitches, and see what it comes up with. It's going to search your entire program to find designs that you have that have between 1 and 6,000 stitches. And this is what it came up with. So this narrows down my choices significantly. So keep that in mind, guys. Yeah, it does. If you don't, I am one that if I put something on a stick, it's only for a temporary storage. So if I save to a USB, I tend to just basically delete things when I'm done. I hold them on my hard drive, and I have a backup drive that basically backs up that entire hard drive so that I don't lose my designs. And periodically I go in there and check and make sure that everything's there. I just bought some new backup drives that are nice and slim, 2 terabytes, and that I've got one for each computer now so that I don't kind of mess with it. So there are, there are different ways. Everybody has a different method of madness. I prefer to have it on my hard drive. I've had too many USB sticks go bad. So have it on your hard drive, have a backup. It's never bad to have a backup to your backup. Just, it's kind of one of those things. Karen, I went to Best Buy. This is a little Samsung 2 terabyte. And it's great. Great little thing. Now, I did buy a program that is a complete backup program so it will back up the entire computer. So anyhow, okay. Now, what else can we do? Well, I've showed you can convert. You can, create folders and drag and drop your files into your folders. You can drag and drop designs over to a USB. If you are in the PE design database, you can actually choose to go to a USB drive. Okay. Yeah. Copy and paste instead of drag and drop. That's fine as well. You can in here in the P Design 11 design database. So let's go into my 2,500 embroidery designs here. And let's say I want to take these applique. I've got a USB drive in my computer. I can simply highlight the designs I want to add to that drive. Oh, evidently that drive is mostly full. Let's try this one. Let's say we want to add those to it. Why is it telling me that? I must not have an actual drive in. Anyhow, if you have a drive in, you can basically select it and add them to the right box. Let me just add that one. Let's see if it'll let. Nope, it doesn't like me. And it could be because I have both programs open. Let's see. Evidently, it's not going to let me do that today. But usually you can just put your USB drive in there. Let me add another one in. Well, that would be why there's none in here. All right, there we go. So let's go over here again. Now refresh, display refresh so that it refreshes my display, and we should have a drive there. There's not one there. There's not one there. You're not seeing mine. Huh, interesting. And it's not showing up. Oh, there's my eye. Okay, so here we go. This is the one I just inserted. Sorry, guys, you can't make this stuff up. It's live. So I'm going to come and drag one in there, and you'll notice it just pops in to the window. You can drag them in, or you can select them with your control key to select things that are not consecutive. You can select the whole window. Now, keep in mind, it has no clue if you've got a duplicate in there because it's just going by file space. And if you decide you don't want one in there, you can press the trash can to delete it. When you've got the ones that you want in there, you can press the send button, which is right here, the right button. So in PE Design, you can basically drag into your right window, and you do not have that in the design database transfer. You have to copy and paste to that folder. Okay. Now, what else can I do? Inside a folder. So if I've got a folder here, I can print my designs. You choose print setup. You can choose one design per page, 4 per page, 12 per page, or an instructional style sheet. 1 per page is what looks like. It's going to have one design on each page, and it will give you this information: the name of the design, how many colors are in it, what your height and width are, and what the stitch count is. And that will be for every page. Now, if you chose 4 per page, your thumbnails will be smaller. but that information will still be there. If your directory tree gets too long, part of it will be dropped off, but the name of the file will always be there to allow you to search for it. Same information is there. Same thing with 12 per page. You'll notice your thumbnails get much smaller, and you can see how it's dropped off those middle parts of my directory tree. But as I said, that name of that design will always be there, as will the stitch count, the size, and how many colors and what those colors are. So keep that in mind. Instructional style sheets. This is if you filled out any information in your in the info box of the properties in layout and editing. So let's go do that. You can't do this in Design Database Transfer, just so you know. We're in P-Design 11. So let's open up that file that I just was in. So let me go in here, go to PC. Let's go to Brother 2500 Bonus Designs. And let's grab the accent design. So I'm going to grab this heart. And we will come in here down at the bottom right-hand corner, Design Properties. You'll notice I opened this one instead of importing because I want to be able to add this information. And the design name is ACC001. You can leave that in there, and we would call this, I would put this in a hearts category, right? Who's the author? This would be Brother, because they're the ones that made it. You could put keywords, Valentine's, hearts, love, anything you want. And then you can put any comments in there. So if you did this for Valentine's Day, if I can type 2022, you can put that in the comments, click OK, and then save that file. It will overwrite the original file. So you're going to save it. Now, when you go back to your design database, and let's refresh our display, when I right mouse click on this and choose properties, all of those things that I just put in are there. These are searchable topics, guys. So if you went in and you went to search for something, so let's go back, right mouse click and say search. And let's search by format, PES. I can then search by keywords. Let's say I search by heart. It will search and find anything that I have that has that keyword in it, okay? So that is, I mean, that's something you can do if you really get into this. Now, that's not what I would personally do. That's way more work than I'm made for. But, you know, there's something for everybody in here, just so we're clear on that. And if you really want to do it, it's there for you to be able to do it. It's a mouse option that you can do in Windows. So it allows me to ping it so you can draw your attention to it. All right, guys. But you can search. I'm pretty sure we can search in the Design Database Transfer as well. Let's go look. Let me open that one back up. Here we go. So let's go back to this PC. Let me find my D drive and search. So if I can, those same options are there. You can do the same things. Let's go in and let's look at the print options here as well. So let's do accents, file, print setup, and you have the same options that I had in the previous one. So whatever you want to, however you want to do it, you can put it in there. Okay. So just keep that in mind. You can search for however you want to. You can get as specific as you want, but the more things that you check and put in there, the fewer results you're going to get. Sometimes you may not get any because you narrowed it down too far. Okay. Freestanding lace. So yeah, if you're a freestanding lace person, you probably want to put all those designs in a place as well. Now, one thing I will tell you is I would not take my Brother designs out of my program files and move them into another folder, because you want to keep things that come in your program files within your program files. That would kind of mess with you if you're trying to follow along with a teacher who kept everything in its place, which I do. So usually I like you to keep those files where they're supposed to be located. So make sure that you don't cut and paste. Make sure you copy and put it in another folder if you take it out of your PE design files. Okay, now let's talk about BES4 for just a little bit and BES Blue. Both of these programs have a built-in conversion program. Neither of them have the organizational program. Just go get design database transfer. So just keep in mind that these two programs do have a very powerful conversion program. And I will say I prefer to convert through that program as opposed to PE design. I'm going to be fully honest there. I think it does a better job because Pulse makes that program for Brother, and they work with multiple companies. So I think their conversion program works a bit better than ours, than than PE design does. So where do you find a conversion program? If you go to, I'm in BES4, but it's the same whether it's BES4 or BES Blue. This tool is in both programs. So tools, and where is that? Batch converter right here. Go to your tools tab, batch converter. And you can choose where you're getting your files from. So if I want to go down to my Brother 2500 bonus designs, and let's say I want to choose my accent folder, I can, whoops, that's destination. I don't want to go there. I want to pick that folder to convert from. So let's see here. Where did that go? Accents. And let's say I just want it to go, where do I want it to go? I'm going to make a new folder within there. Let me make a new folder on my computer here just so that I don't mess that up. So 2500 bonus designs, we're going to create new folder. Converted designs. Okay. So I'm going to go back into my design BES4, and we are going to come back. Where did that go? Well, I'll just call that, and we'll say convert. I'm going to just go / converted designs, if I can spell. All right, so we're going to say all source formats. That way it picks up anything, and you can tell it what you want it to go to. You can select multiple styles at one time. So let's say we wanted to go to Genome, and we want it to go to VP3. I can then click convert, and it will convert all of those at one time. So now let's look at our Windows Explorer. In our 2500 bonus designs, converted designs, there they all are. Okay. So it does do it for you. It is easy to do, and it's part of those two programs. Annette, Windows 10 or 11, either one's going to be fine. My understanding is we are compatible with, I have been told that both programs have passed the compatibility test. I have not upgraded my Windows 10 yet to 11, but I probably will shortly. I was waiting till I got a good backup done. It's more RAM than it is hard drive space. Get the most RAM that you can afford, because that's what's going to control how fast your computer goes. Get a 64-bit computer. Make sure that since you have BES4 with all the power packs, you want to make sure you get a 64-bit computer. If you don't, your BES4 will not be able to run the power packs. Okay. Just keep that in mind. So Marsha, you don't have to put them into PE Design 11. Okay. They're on your computer. and where you just go look on that directory tree on your computer in Design Database, and you'll see those files. So hold on a second. Let's go back over here. Here's the layout and edit. I mean, sorry, not layout and editing. What am I in? Here's my Design Database transfer. And if you look here, if I go to this PC and click the plus sign next to this PC, then I click on the drive that I want it to look in, and then I find the folder that I want it to look in. And once you click on all of those plus signs and get there, you'll get real good. You'll get in there, okay? So that's just keep that in mind. So yeah, I agree, Patty. I mean, get the most RAM that you can afford. Here's my theory. I don't want to buy a computer for today. I want to buy the computer for 2 years from today, because I want my computer to last me for more than 3 years. So I buy a computer that has the most, that I max it out at today, and then it lasts me for a good 3 to 4 years. And that, I mean, my laptop over here is almost 4 years old. So I think when I bought it, 12 gigabytes of RAM was the most I could get, and a terabyte hard drive was the most I could get. That's what I bought. My desktop that I have here, is huge. It has tons of RAM. I think we're 32 gigs of RAM and 10 cores. So, you know, it all depends on what you're planning on doing. My laptop, obviously, I want to be nice and portable. So it is a nice, lightweight, solid state drive, and it goes everywhere with me. Downside of it is there are no drives. Okay. So, I mean, I have to carry an external thing with me all the time. So, all right, guys. Any other questions that I haven't answered today about what we did? So Pat says she hasn't had any problems with Windows 10 yet, and she's running both programs as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, depending on what you use, looks like it makes a difference. So let's see here. Chris, yes, you can convert a design from DST to PES. Which program are you wanting to do it in? Let's see here. Let me go back to my converted designs. Let me find the right program. Design database. Here we go. Refresh. Why are you not letting me refresh? There we go. All right. Converted designs. So did I do a DST? No. Well, I'll do one here. Convert format. DST. All right. So I'm going to convert to DST, and then I'll convert from DST to something else. Oh, let's tell it where we want it to go. That is the biggest thing, guys. You got to remember to tell it where you want it to go. I want it to go to converted designs. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and say convert. There's my DST file. Now, if I want to convert that to a PES file, you choose the format type from that drop-down menu and convert. Okay. And then now you've got PES. So you can convert between both. So, if you're just joining us, I mean, go back and watch from the beginning of this one today. I kind of dove into the deep end of conversion and flipping between softwares. So you'll get used to the way I do things. I try to touch on something for everybody in 1 week, just so that I can not exclude a group. So that's why we do P design first and design database first, because they both relate to each other. And that's why I went to BES4 and BES Blue second, because they both relate to each other. Okay. No, Shirley, the design database will not run off of an external program. basically you can transfer, because these files are not living in PE Design. They are living on your hard drive. They don't live in PE Design in the database. Your database is just accessing what you have on your drive. Then they can actually live anywhere. The files themselves can live anywhere. It will work faster if you are using it within a hard drive, a regular hard drive, because it just works faster. And yes, we're all here to cheer you on. If you have questions, just let us know. That's what I do this for. I'm question queen. That's where I come up with ideas. Somebody asked me if they had P Design 11, did they need the design database transfer? And I said, no, you do not. So that's where today's topic comes from. So you need to sit there. That's how I come up with what I'm going to talk about. Okay. Marsha, not necessarily, no. If you've unzipped them and you've already moved them onto your computer, you don't necessarily need to keep them. I personally get rid of anything, any format that I'm not going to use. So if I've downloaded a design file that came with all kinds of file extensions and all I need is PES, I get rid of everything besides that PES file because I don't need it. Dana, you certainly can. You are my CSV girl. Okay, so in the design database, file, down here where it says create CSV file, this is your Excel spreadsheet type thing, okay? And you want to tell it where you want it to go. So we'll put this one in the same folder just so that we don't lose it. I'm going to put back in data, brother bonus designs, and we'll put it in converted designs just so that it's all in the same place. And we'll call it converted designs. And this is a CSV file, which is a comma separated value file, which can be read in Excel. You will not be able to see it here in the design database. You are just going to have to trust that it is there. So if I go into my Windows Explorer and I go into my converted files, let's go scroll. Let's refresh it first. We should be able to see that. There they are, converted files. If I double click on that, it'll open up my Excel spreadsheet here. And evidently, I only had one file selected, so it only gave me the one. But it gives you that information. Now, you're not going to have the image file with that. There is another way that you can get that, but you could automatically, basically, oops, I don't want to get rid of that. You could go in and take a snip of it. Cheater's way of doing it. There's a snipping tool on every Windows computer. You could take a snip of it and paste it into the Excel spreadsheet. Okay. I personally wouldn't, but if you're an engineer, yeah, I've had people want to know how much thread something takes. And BES will allow you to know how much thread it actually takes you to sew of each color. Now I find that one hysterical. But personally, I don't do it. So, well, I mean, that is a good reason to do it, but God forbid you should not ever buy a brand other than Brother, in my opinion. But I mean, I understand. You could always, you could always go in and reconvert them to something else. So you might end up with brain injury. That's too funny. All right, guys, not too funny actually, because the older we get, the more that we forget. So my husband and I mean, I have repacked Christmas in the wrong boxes. And I'm sitting here going, I know I have a box for that. Well, I found the box after I'd already packed everything and put them in new boxes, knowing that I had the box for that, but I couldn't find it. So, but we evidently put out Christmas too fast for me to remember where I took things out of this year. Brother Japan makes PE Design. So Candy, okay. Is it a design that you created yourself, or is it something that you purchased from somebody else? That makes a difference, and that may be a topic for another day. But if you answer that one quickly, I may be able to show you that one. So, all right, guys, let me see what else we've got. If we are in P Design 11, let's see what we want to do. If it's a design that has been created by somebody else and you want to take out stitches from something else, that is more challenging. But let's say we were putting it on my heart on top of this circle. There is a workaround on this one. The easiest way to do it is, first of all, to do an embroidered patch button and take the distance down as close as you can get it. So, well, that one's not going to let me do what I want to do. Okay, so I would change my mind. So I would copy this, the heart. Let's make these colors a little bit different so you all can see what I'm doing. So my heart's in the middle here. And I would first of all copy this one. And then I would convert it to an outline. And I would convert the whole thing to an outline. Then you can basically take that outline of your heart here, hold the control key down in your sewing order window and click the select patterns icon. Go up to the home tab, modify overlap, set whole sewing, or remove overlaps. Then get rid of this. Undo. Don't want to get rid of your placeholder. Let's just turn off the stitches. Ungroup. Control Shift G. Let's just ungroup this. There we go. Now I can get rid of it. So I'm going to delete. Nope, can't get rid of it. It's not liking me getting rid of that. So we're going to just turn the stitches off. Then you can come in and paste that other design back down and you're back in business. So that's removed everything underneath it. Oh, if you're doing a store-bought design and you're wanting to put quilting around it, that's super simple. Okay. That one's super simple. So let's do new. And I don't want to save those changes. So let's come over here and import something. And we'll just do that right there. So that acts like it's an imported design. Hit the background fill key, touch the background, touch next. Pick your background. You can choose stippling or a decorative fill. Oops, wait a minute. I picked decorative fill, so then I can come in and pick any decorative fill that I want. And I'm done, and it has removed the background. Okay, so that's the easiest way in PE Design 11. Hit your background fill button, and it will take everything out of it. You can stipple, you can do decorative fills, you can do echo quilting, however you want to do it. Crosshatch stripes, it's got all of the options in there ready for you. Okay, so Sandra keeps the PES in the commercial embroidery files. Huh. That is interesting. Shirley, I have no idea. I'd have to see your computer to see what it is. I don't know. Somebody's naming convention may be off. All right, guys, if there are no other questions today, then I will stop for the day. Please send in your questions for next week so that I have a topic to talk about, because next week is my brother sews week and I'm going to be focusing on that. Chris, CND to PES, not in PE Design. Let me look in BES4 and see. So let's see here. BES4. Can I convert from CND? I do not see, CND is not an option. So the condensed file is not an option. Okay. Um, it is one of my favorite features because it has taken so much time out of so many activities that I do. I mean, it truly has makes a world of difference because you don't have to do the whole sewing thing. So it really depends on what you're doing as to how I tell you to do something, but that makes a world of difference. All right, guys, you all have a great rest of the day and a great weekend, and I will see you next week. So, as I said, remember next week I'm focusing on my brother sew segment. So, if you start thinking of questions between now and then, that would be wonderful. Send them in, and I'll add them to the list. So, sorry about that. There could be some free programs out there that may do it, but none of the brother programs will do a CND file. All right, guys. Y'all have a great rest of the day, and I shall see you next week, twice on next Tuesday. So, see ya. Bye bye. Thanks for joining.